So listen, the concept of salinity is really just, so if you have 1,000 mLs of water, basically how many grams of salt are inside of that water. So if I put in 5 grams of salt, then the parts per 1,000 mLs, right? So 1,000 comes from the 1,000 mLs, would be 5 parts per 1,000. I guess one of the advantages to doing board work, if I had a marker that still worked, is that it erases, and I can do this on the fly, go 10 grams, going into 1,000 mLs, well, then it'd be 10 parts per 1,000. Yes, there's an equation way to do this, which I will show you guys later. 7 grams, 7 parts per 1,000, pretty straightforward. The issue becomes as well, what happens if we change this? And I should have picked a different marker because that is terrible now. Ugh. All right. So what if we just had a bigger container that was 2,000 mLs? I like using 2,000 because it's an easy number to start with. So we can semi-imagine, like I said, splitting this in half. This side is 1,000 mLs. This side is 1,000 mLs. Even if you put in 7 grams, how much, like PPT is parts per 1,000, per 1,000. If I put in 7 grams into the whole thing, how much would each 1,000 get? Well, that would be 3.5 grams, 3.5 grams on this side. Okay, so that's where the 7 comes from, 7 grams in 2,000. The PPT would be 3.5 parts per 1,000, like that. You can take any number, throw it in there. The concept is still the same. So we can go 4 grams, well then this side would have 2 grams and this side would have 2 grams for a total of 2 parts per 1,000 because it would be 2 grams at every 1,000. Let's just say we change this to 4,000 mLs. Okay, 4,000 mLs. So instead of having, 2 separate 1,000 ml boxes, let's call it 4, so 1,000 here, 1,000 here, 1,000 here, 1,000 here. Same thing, if I put in 4 grams, how much would each 1,000 have? Because again, I'm going with 4,000 now. So this would have 1 gram, 1 gram, 1 gram, 1 gram, and the parts per 1,000 would be 1 part per 1,000 because each 1,000 mLs would have 1 gram. If I change this to, I don't know, let's call it 12, okay? So how much would each get? So again, I'm chopping this up by 4. If I chop up 12 by 4, so that's 3, 6, 9, 12, 3 parts per 1,000. And again, like I'm pretty good with division, so like I could do that pretty quickly. If you need a calculator, okay, you use a calculator. Later on, I'll show you the equation version of this. So I'll hop over here. So the equation version of this is going to have 1,000 mLs of water on top, the amount of water you use, okay, times the number of grams of salt you put in. So like for those of you who are like equation-y type people, I'll show you this on Thursday, but like if you're just dying to see the equation, okay. So like this is the for solving for PPT. So this is the equation. So I'm going to put EQ for PPT. So you always put 1,000 mLs H2O on top. This is the equation. So you have to have that on top. This is how much water you used. So how much H2O was used. Okay. So in this case, I used 4,000, so 4,000. How much did I put in? I put in 12 grams. Now, I can do this in my head. Maybe you need a calculator, but if you take 1,000 divided by 4,000, it's really like 1 divided by 4. So that gives us 0.25, okay? 0.25. 12 times 0.25 is going to give us 3 PPT, like that. See, like to me, if I get a simple problem like this, I'd rather just do it in my head. Why am I gonna set up the whole equation? I can just do it in my head. If you get a weird number, like if I give you a number, so like again flipping over here, and I'm not gonna do this on the quiz, by the way. So like on the quiz, I'm always gonna give you numbers that you should be able to divide fairly easily. See, but if I gave you a number, this would be like a Google Doc problem. If I gave you 19.7 grams and you put it into 1,567 mLs of water, then yeah, you would use the equation. But I'm not going to give you this. Okay, I'm not going to give you that on the quiz. So at least the setup to this particular problem. Okay. Again, the 1,000 always goes on top. Again, this 1,000 has to be there. How much water did you use? That's what goes on bottom for this particular problem. So it'd be 1,567. Okay. How much salt did you put in? 19.73. Now you let your calculator do all the work. So again, this would be more of a Google Doc type problem. But for the quiz, I'm going to give you, again, relatively simple problems that you should be able to do in your head. So I'll check the live for questions. I don't know if anybody joined. So again, if you have any questions, by all means, you can drop them. Ooh, I get a wave to people. Wave, 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 wave. But like I said, don't worry too much about the equation right now. Worry about like the mental math stuff. Again, you're